On Senna, he seems like, and I'm basing this a bit on the documentary, to be honest, but he seems like just the most incredible cocktail of charisma, sensitivity. He's a profound thinker in some ways. He's belligerent in many other ways, and a tough customer. Did you like him? Did you love him? Did you have a good relationship with him?
His name was Ayrton Senna da Silva. So when I met him, he was in Formula Ford, and I had one who was a talent scout. That was the way I went about it. Just like they have in football, nobody does that in Formula 1 or Formula 3, Formula 3000, but I did. I needed people to go around different races for me, and constantly everyone's coming back and said, "God, you need to see this guy, Da Silva, he's quite special." So I went to Snetterton for my own eyes to see him, and I remember picking out a point on a particular corner, which was a very difficult corner, and I had in my mind exactly where that little piece was, and each and every time he came around the corner, he hit that particular his tire, his inside front left tire, which was the one that was catching the grip. So in other words, he was coming in at unbelievable speed, and he touched this every single time. And I realized then that this guy was very talented. Obviously, we gave him the drive, and I liked about him as soon as he'd had the test and he went off to do something else. He wrote me a nice little note, and it was one of the very few things that I have kept, because he wrote me a note to say how pleased he was and thank him. You know, I didn't charge him for the thing, which I normally would do, but he was that talented. We kept close together. Then I took Brundle, and he went to drive for Dick Bennett, but we came together to do Macau. So, you know, he had strange, we knew his first wife really well. My wife, Marie, and his wife were friendly, not pals, but, you know, they knew each other at the paddock and stuff like that, and they hung out before the race, and everyone was getting uptight about the anxiety of what's going to happen in the race and stuff. So he was compelling. You know, there was all sorts of rumors. Was he bisexual? Was he this? Was he that? But everybody, males, females, everybody loved him because he had that Brazilian sense of style, charisma, look, appearance, his attitude, how he went out with things, and yet at the same time how professional he was. You cannot imagine. He'd be the last person in the motorhome or in the paddock at night going through each and every detail of the car. And he'd walk out of the motorhome and go, and he said, "Well, what do you think about this?" And remember, I only had him for a very, very, very short time. But if you ask any of the people at McLaren, or even at Lotus when he went there, or to Tolman, I mean, they will all tell you that no one ever dissected a car as much as he did before the race. And to think of what happened in Imola and his sad death was exactly as out of him. Well, that's my opinion. I don't want to stick my neck out here, but, you know, the steering column would seem to be broken. We don't know the full extent of the situation, but he had that altered the night before. And one of the things, don't let me get into all the technologies about welding and making sure that, look, it doesn't matter. The point is that he asked his team to change something, and there's some of the belief that caused the accident. It may not be the full answer, but, you know, Ayrton Senna was like that. He was adored, revered. Even to this day, most people will say that he was their favorite driver. They may not say he was the quickest driver, but, you know, there's an argument to support that too. And so overall, a wonderful person for motor racing. I think he did so many things. Only when you go to Sao Paulo and you realize the size of that funeral was just out of this world, you know, millions of people lining the place. And of course, the biggest avenue, the big long street, all the way from the center of Sao Paulo to the airport is called Ayrton Senna Avenue. And rightly so. He is still, he's a god there, no doubt about it.